I will define a function with one statement that will convert any image to a grayscale or a black and white image. As you guessed it, I'm going to use a library. This library is called Pillow. This is why the first statement or the first import is from pil import image, importing the module image from the pil library. To be able to use the Pillow library, I installed the library using pip install pillow. To define a function, you use the keyword def, the name of the function, then you define your parameters. Here I'm defining two types of parameters. The first one, image, is a positional parameter or positional argument. The second one is a keyword argument. How do I know so? Because I use this specific characters, the slash, to indicate that all the arguments on the left are positional arguments, and I use this asterisk to specify that all the arguments on the right are keyword arguments. But there is a specific thing here. I added a value to my second argument called mode. The value added is equal to 1, or is the string 1, which means that I can call my function without this argument, which makes this argument an optional argument and the first argument as a mandatory argument. So even if I don't provide my function the mode value, it will still work because it will consider the value of mode equal to 1. Now I can use a doc string to define my function, or to say what my function does. It simply transforms an image to a grayscale or black and white image. This doc string is usable or valuable when you want to create a doc or generate automatically a doc for your code. Then I will write my if statement. The if statement is simple. It tests if the mode is equal to one of the three values: 1 for black and white, L for grayscale, LA for grayscale, and alpha channel. I'm using these values because I'm going to use a special method called convert, taking specific values for mode. I will give it the value 1 or L or LA. It will understand that I want to convert an image either to black and white image, grayscale image, or grayscale with alpha channel image. So if the mode is one of these three values, I'm going to convert the image. This is not the only values available for the convert method, but my function take only these three values. Now if the mode is different, the function will return none. So this function will return a value. The value returned is either the image converted, either a known object. So I defined this function, or I defined a function using def keyword, the name of the function, the parameters. I added the doc string, not mandatory, but useful. And then I added the statements of the function. I also added the return value. Even if you don't add a return value, Python by default will return the null object. So I finished defining my function. Now what I can do is call the function to actually convert my image, because the function will not work unless I call it. First, I'm opening my image and creating an image object that will be the first parameter of my transform function. So with image.open, then I specified the name or the path of my image, that is penguin.jpg, as m. So m will be my image object. Then I call transform with these two parameters. The first parameter is the image, is a positional argument. I don't have to specify the name of the argument, so I don't have, and I shouldn't say image equal to m. And then I specified the mode. The mode is a keyword argument. I didn't have to specify the mode, but I can specify it, and it also has to be a keyword argument. I can't just write one. Now I test the return object. because the return object can be known. If it's different than known, I will show the converted image and then I will save it to a file called penguin bwjpg. Now I can also print a message saying that the conversion was successful. If it's not the case, it will simply print the message conversion was not successful. So to test our code now, I will also have to run it, because if I don't run it, I will not see anything and no conversion will happen. I will simply write python deffunc.py. So it converted my image to a black and white image. You can see here in the pixelization that we have this black dots contrasted with the white bulbs. I can change the mode now. I will simply have to change the value of the parameters without changing the function itself, of course. Now I can name my file differently. I will say grayscale, so gr. Same thing here in the message, so it will be correct. Run my code again. It says that the image was created. I can see the difference here when I zoom in. There is no black and white dots. I can even open the image here to see clearly. I can see clearly the gray scales. Comparing this to our black and white image, a big difference. Now we can also convert the image to, or maybe not this one, another one that has transparency. I have this image called penguin 2.png. So I will change my opened image here, PNG. Then I will change the mode to LA. I can say here also it's grayscale, but the difference is that it will be a PNG file, and I will also say, hey, the conversion was successful because I've created this penguin dot or this penguin dash to grayscale. You can see that it was converted correctly. There is no color. Now if I convert it without the A to see the consequence of not specifying this, then I'm going to say without A. I'm going to add this here too. I created the image, the message was wrong, but the image created was correct. I'm going to add JR without A. You can see that it added this black color because no transparency, or the transparency wasn't taken into consideration. So the A is important here in our case. Thank you for watching, and if you have any question or concern, let me know in the comments below. Bye.